right, LSFL family, it's time for another TSS Fantasies LSFL Sports Machine. Say that 2 times fast. All righty, like a little gay dance for the intro. There it is. All right, well, we had a very wild weekend. This will be a wild one because of Wild Card weekend, but the play-in game was pretty exciting. We'll have to revisit this next season, however, because there were some complaints as far as the play-in game, but I thought it served its purpose. I thought it was pretty exciting. I enjoyed it. If you guys don't like that, we can vote on maybe just extending the regular season next year. Obviously, as you've seen all these COVID and injury situations happen at the end of this year, it might have been behoove some of us to extend the regular season. But anywho, be that as it may, it was exciting to say the least. So let's start off our show today with a little breakdown of the play-in game action.
Don't stop, get it. Don't stop, get it. That pussy, rock that pussy, work that pussy.
We'll start in the AFC, where it was pretty much a blowout to begin with. The Rattlers did make a little comeback at the end, but it was a little too late as the Grimace poured it on early. Got a big day from Cowboys D, 29 points from Cowboys defense. Mark Andrews had a nice game, 17.5 as well. Najee Harris, 22.4. Teddy Bridgewater also had a decent game at 16.95 as well. So the Grimace, 141 points, pretty decent play-in game. Obviously, that will be, since it's our first play-in game, maybe our only, that will definitely be the record going forward, 141 in the play-in game. Jose, unfortunately, my friend, you did come up towards the end with the Matt Stafford with his 26 points. Sony Michel did you no favors that night, unfortunately. It was all Stafford, and unfortunately, he didn't dump anything big off to Sony Michel. But Devontae Adams came in big for you. Really, what hurt you was Terry McLaurin with the nothing, and Kelsey with 2.7. Or you would have really made a run with Jamal Williams. He had 20.3 points as well. So, again, decent game, though. It wasn't like if you would have played anybody in the NFC, you'd be going on, Jose. So be that as it may, however, my friend, you know what time it is. It's time to get that fishing pole, my brother, because it's time to go fishing.
Enough is enough. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in.
So, yeah, interesting game to say the least. We shall see, what happens next year for Jose. But a decent year this year, my friend. Even though he got into the playing game, it was a good run to say the least. So, congratulations, Jose. At least you made the playoffs this season. And like I said, it was a decent run in the playing game to say the least. Let's go on to the NFC playing game, where this was a lot more interesting, and it was just unfortunate. Some injuries really hurt someone in this one. It's the Lamar Jackson. Oh, Greg, I am so sorry. The fall of the Dragons fell on the fall of Lamar Jackson. 1.35 points for Lamar, making him fall to the Predators 101.05 to 88.95. The I guess what improved for the Dragons, or what showed out for him, was Leonard Fournette had a good game, 19.2 points. Clyde Edwards-Helaire with 16.2. Packers D had a decent game with 12, and Justin Jefferson 13.5. On the Predator side, Tom Brady, he was worried about this matchup. No worries, my friend. He played well, 33.75 points. Mike Evans with 15.1. I'd be remiss to mention Van Jefferson, which live on the show won the game for the Predators that day. So great job picking up Van Jefferson, putting him in your lineup, putting the confidence to put him through. Pretty much won the game for you. Like I said, if it wasn't for Lamar, of course, could be a different story. However, them the breaks, as they say. So my friend Greg, it's time to get the fishing pole ready.
Enough is enough. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in.
Wrong one. My bad. Here we go.
Dragon Tales, it's almost time for Dragon Tales. Come along and take my hand. Let's all go to Dragonland.
Dragonland, indeed. It is good night, my friend, for the Dragons. Great season. Looked like you might have been the favorite in the NFC to go on. Definitely go against the Jester. But unfortunately, that is the end of your season. So we on now to the Wild Card weekend. And man, it is going to get wild indeed. Very excited for this weekend. Love to see who's going on to the conference championships to fight. Those teams have been sitting there for 2 weeks now. Oof. I mean, that's a long bye. If you get the number one seed, you definitely played out this year. So let's start. We'll start the process with a little stat shack. All right, let's go into AFC. The 6-7 Eldorados and now 7-7 Grimace. Number 3 seed going against the number 2 seed in the wild card. The Eldorados lead this series 6-3. The Eldorados won their last meeting in Week 13, 126.65 to 84.9. Now, these teams have only met once in the playoffs. That was actually in the 2019 AFC Championship, where the Grimace won 112.45 to 90.15. The Grimace have been to the wild card, by the way, 3 times, and they are 2-1 in their wild card appearances. They are now, after their win last week, 14-10 overall in the playoffs. The Eldorados, this is their 3rd straight playoff appearance, so congrats on that. They are, however, 0-2 in the playoffs, and this is their 2nd wild card berth. So first one they lost, obviously, so they are 0-1 in wild card games. This is going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. I like what the Eldorados have done over the past few weeks, kind of put together a squad that's put up big points. However, I feel like the Grimace have been that sneaky team. I think that, to me, is the favorite in the AFC. He's put up big points all year. I like the Grimace in this matchup to move forward, making Craig 0-3 in playoff appearances. So we shall see, but I do say I do like the Grimace in this matchup. All right, let's go on to the NFC. In the NFC wildcard game, we have the now 8-6 Pennsylvania Predators, the number 4 seed, the upset special, going against the 8-5 Bronx Jets, the number 2 seed, man. And again, I mean, the Jets are the Jets, man. The Jets lead this series 9-4. Now, this year, though, the 2 teams split the season series 1-1. The Preds won the last meeting. It was in Week 13, not much to play for then, 120.3 to 88.45. The teams have only met once in the playoffs. Now, this was in the 2018 NFC Championship. The Predators won 100.1 to 89.5. The Preds now overall in the playoffs with last week's win are 11-6. An interesting stat, the Predators have been to the wild card game 7 times. Now, this will make it 8, actually. So 8 by far is the record for wild card appearances. And in those 7 appearances, they are 3-4 in those wild card appearances. So that's interesting, to say the least. The Jets, again, 7th consecutive playoff appearance. They are 5-5 overall in the playoffs. Now, as good as the Jets have been, because you know what? They win their division every year. So they've been to the playoffs 7 consecutive times, but they've only been in the wild card once. That's because they win the division every year. It's so impressive. 1-0 in wild card appearances. So needless to say, looking at the matchup, I would, if it was the Dragons going against the Jets, I would have favored the Dragons. They really have it put together. I just don't see it with the Preds. He's been kind of up and down this year, where the Jets are always that constant stream of points, putting the right guys at the right time. I like the favorite here. I like the Jets to move on, to go on to face the Jesters this year. So that could be an interesting matchup, to say the least. Well, there it is for you. It's quick, easy, no problem. We're in and out. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week for the conference championships. It's been a great season so far, and I appreciate you guys being a part of the best league around. We'll see you next week.